All right, Miss Jade. So you are our athlete of the month, and I'm so excited to have a conversation with you today about all of the awesome things that you're doing, your story, so that you can inspire so many others who, like you, were struggling with their confidence in their sport. So I'm really excited about today. So the first thing I would love to hear is just a little bit about you. So for someone who has no idea who you are, why don't you tell them just all the fun things about Jade?
My name is Jade I am 15. I've been cheering for, I want to say this is year 11 or 12, so a long time. Ever since I was 4. I just recently moved over to Orlando. We're still looking to find a house. But I'm moving to Top Gun Orlando for the new gym I'm at. Um, I'm on a team called Bombshells. It's a senior 4.2. My favorite color is purple. I think that's really it.
I love it. Favorite color is purple. I love that you threw in that fun fact. So tell me a little bit more about kind of your background. Like what sports have you done and for how long? Like how long have you been, tumbling? Like just give me a little bit of background and maybe even just like some skills that you have done in the past that you maybe have had challenges on. Like tell me a little bit about that background.
I've been doing cheer ever since I was 4, and I mean, I've been doing like tumbling and flying, like everything to do with cheer ever since then. Um, and it originally started out with I was going to dance classes and cheer classes, and I was kind of deciding between the two, and I ended up picking cheerleading because I liked the stunning aspect. But I dived more into like tumbling and stuff, and I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, I was working on my tuck and I was on a J3. It was called Midnight, and then it got changed to White Diamonds. It was at Brandon All Stars, the Wesley Chapel location. And I want to say it was the second year I was on the level 3 team, I think is when it was. And I had finally gotten my round up at answering tuck on the floor, but I was like never really confident with it. I was always kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but like always just nervous to do it. And like every single practice, I would go in like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it today. Like I would tell my teammates that and stuff. And then eventually it happened. I wasn't able to throw it anymore. I almost landed on my head. I never got injured or anything. I got really scared of it, I guess. And I just wasn't able to throw it almost ever again. But so we tried to move over to the Brain All Stars main location, like the one with BSB and like Legacy and Smoke, all of those teams. And sorry, that's my cat.
No worries.
Um, and I was starting to gain more confidence with my tuck, and like I started throwing it on a tumble track again, and I started throwing it on rod, and I started progressing to the floor. But like I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it's just like I wouldn't throw it on tumble track anymore. Like I wouldn't throw it anywhere. I wouldn't like I was even struggling to do it the spot. Like I couldn't do it anywhere. It just was not working out. And then we moved to Top Gun. I was still struggling with my men's block. We were trying out all kinds of coaches. We went to where did we go? Actually, I think he was in Florida. We went and saw Tumble Chef. He was here.
Yeah.
He was here in Florida not too long ago. Actually, I think it might have been a year ago. And we were trying to work with him, but like we were trying to work with everybody. We were with so many different coaches. We went to so many different gyms. I went to some gymnastics gym, and I was working with one of the coaches there. We were going to different gym, like just we were going everywhere, and like nothing was helping. And there were several times where I almost gave up and just like stopped trying to get my tuck and stopped trying to get over my mental block. And there was one time or one night where me and my mom had like a really long talk, and we were just like, I think it's time to just be done. Like it's been almost 3 years. I don't see myself coming out of this. But that night she found, I think on Facebook probably or Instagram, I don't know where she was. She came across one of your videos of this mental block group. So she decided to sign me up for it the next day as like a last resort, like, let's see what this is kind of thing before we stop. Because I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for like a really long time.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for both of us to try and just like stop it kind of because like everything I do revolves around cheer. Like I'm always in the gym. Like I think I'm literally there every single day except for Saturdays. So I'm there every day, basically. So it was just really tough for us. So we finally found the group and we're like, okay, let's try this out. And it's helped a lot. So
Yeah, I love that. I love all that background. And I wish we got more athletes who are just like, you know what? Things are awesome. I'm super confident. My tumbling's going great. And I just want to be better. I would love that scenario, but unfortunately, a lot of athletes, they do find us when they are struggling and they're kind of at like that last resort. It's like we've tried
Yeah.
all the private lessons, we've tried switching gyms, we've tried switching coaches, and now it's more accepted and it's more a lot of when I started this business 5 years ago, it a lot of times I was the first person they had ever heard of in the sports psych mental coaching world at all. And now
Mm.
it's gotten to the point where more athletes are familiar that this exists out there, this type of coaching. And so they've tried a few different avenues to get those
Yeah.
mental skills. But it is truly the things athletes need to really develop their mental skills to the point where they see those results that are lasting in the gym. We kind of crafted our programs very uniquely in that way. And so I love that I'm so sorry at the position you were in, but I'm so glad that you found us. And I'm so glad
Hmm.
that you're doing so amazing and you're still in cheer. And are you enjoying it?
Yes.
That's
I'm
the best
probably
part.
happier than I've ever been in this sport right
I
now.
love it. See, I was a competitive cheerleader all the way through college, and I mean, obviously, I created my whole business around my love of cheer, right? And wanting to help
Yeah.
athletes through mental blocks. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad you're in this program, and I'm so glad you're here sharing your story today. That is so cool. So, Jade, why don't you tell me a little bit? So, you did a great job sharing with me kind of some of your biggest challenges, tumbling struggles, all of that. Why don't you share with me maybe some of the other pieces? So, outside of just the struggles in the gym, did you notice any other challenges or anything else around that time before you started? Like, was there anything else going on that you'd like to?
Yes, there was quite a lot going on, specifically like last year.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I had just moved gyms. I moved gyms last year and I made bombshells for the first time. I'm on it again this year. Um, but my dad ended up getting, I think it's base of tongue and throat cancer. And so like almost the entire year he was in Jacksonville for chemo treatments and I think he did proton therapy because so we didn't like some of the effect like the long lasting effects of chemo. So we were like, let's try and find something better.
Yeah.
So my aunt and uncle actually live in Jacksonville. So he basically the entire year stayed over at their house. So I never really got to see him very often. And since we were still living in Wesley Chapel, which is why we're moving now, it was almost 2 hours away. And I think it was like 3 hours and 30 minutes or something there and back, like to my house.
Yeah.
And then plus we were driving all the way to Jacksonville. So like half the week we would have to be driving like crazy hours to go see my dad. And we would be up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, having to go wake up and go do it all over again, drive from Jacksonville to Orlando. And then like it was in the middle of comp season and stuff. So like we were going through all the comps, everything. It was a lot. And then I lost two of my grandparents at the same time. So I definitely had a lot going on. And it was just like very overwhelming, I guess, because it was like I felt like I had lost my dad. I mean, I hardly really got to see him.
Yeah.
I felt like I had nobody really to talk about it either with because I had kind of lost all my friends from like cheer and stuff. And then I do online. So I don't really have any like school friends that at least that I keep in touch with or anything. So like cheer is like where I have all my friends or anything. So when we moved gyms, I was still like trying to get to know people and like it was scary. So like I felt like I had nobody to talk to. And then I didn't have two of my grandparents. One of my grandma, because I lost a grandma and a grandpa. One of them, my grandma, she had cancer as well. And we were on vacation actually when she passed. So like I didn't really get to say goodbye to her in a sense. And then my grandpa, I wasn't super close with him, and I think I was more upset with the fact that like I never really got to see him or like have a close relationship with him. So I don't know, it was just like a very tough time and like mentally I think it had some effects on me. And that's kind of when my mental block got at its worst when I was going through all of that. And then like I had no one to talk to either. So it was just kind of a lot.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And I know that reliving all of that is difficult and so hard to do.
Yeah.
You did such a good job of letting us in on that piece of your story. And thank you for doing that and being vulnerable in that way. Like you're just so mature beyond your years to be able to do that. And I'm so sorry all that was happening. It is so true that your sport, I mean, for so many athletes, your sport's your life. Like it really is true
Yeah.
who you are. And it goes both ways. It's when you're struggling in your sport, sometimes that bleeds over into your everyday life. So
Hmm.
school suffers, friendships suffer. Like there's a lot. And as you said, most of your friends are in the sport. So
Yeah.
if you're considering giving up the sport because of the tumbling challenges and the lack of confidence, like that, you're also considering, do I let go of all my friends, right? Like
Yeah.
it's tough. Also, things that are going on outside of sport, they affect what you do in the mat, right? Like it's hard to just totally like lock in and focus
Right.
when you've got so much going on. And it's hard for a lot of athletes, especially young athletes, to share and talk about difficult things. And so I can imagine with the people you did have in your life to share with, they had so much going on. You probably
Yeah.
felt like it's kind of hard to put your stuff on them. They've already got a lot going on, right?
Mm-hmm. One of my really close friends I had ended up meeting. So we had a girl, I don't remember what happened. She either like moved away or just quit the team. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
we had to get an alternate to fill in from my coach's other team, their level 3 team. So she was kind of like my first friend, kind of like the first person I was like ever really close with from Top Gun. And I
Yeah.
mean, now we're like really close friends. And I would say we're best friends. Like we love each other. We see each other all the time. Just recently at Miami Showcase, like we shared a hotel room together and stuff. Like we stayed with each other. So I wanted to talk to her about that stuff, but she ended up, I think it was, I don't remember what it's called now, but she kept on having seizures. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What is that called?
That's okay.
I don't remember what it's called,
Epilepsy.
but yes, epilepsy. She had epilepsy and she ended up having had brain surgery, so she was no longer able to compete with us.
Yeah.
So like in a way I kind of felt bad like putting all of that on her when like she was already going through so much. So it was just like a really tough time, and then like yeah, I had that going on, so I wasn't able to see her like anywhere near as much. So it it was just a crazy year last year.
Crazy year, so much going
Yes.
on. And I love though that you took the perspective of there is a solution, like that I do still have this fire and this passion and I want to see it through as much as possible. And I just love that you stayed true, you committed, you went all in on the program and
Yeah.
just all the things. So I'm just, you're pretty amazing, which you already know
Thank
that.
you.
You're athlete of the month, right?
Mhm.
So thank you for going through all of those challenges. I'm sure so many athletes watching this can relate to so many things that you've been through. Not everything, of course. Everyone's
Yeah.
got a lot going on. But everybody's got challenges, right? And
Yeah.
they just look different for everybody else. But I would love, let's shift gears. Let's talk about the good stuff. Let's get into celebrating and talking about all the amazing things. So what do you feel like what has been possible for you? Like what have you been able to accomplish with making that shift, not giving up and really leaning into like, okay, I'm going to figure out this confidence thing.
Um, sorry. Just like honestly so much like my confidence in throwing any skills and trying new skills. Like recently, ever since I've been throwing my tuck, which I want to say it's been a month or two now, like I'm way more comfortable with it than I was before, obviously. Um, and I even started trying new skills like one to tucks, two to tucks. I tried layouts and I even started trying halves.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting into spinning now. So it's kind of crazy just being like reflecting, I guess, just like not too far, like not too long ago.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't even throw my tuck and now I'm working on halves. Like this is crazy. So it's just like so much progress. So it's really exciting. And like I feel like tumbling is fun again because like every time I tumble, I'm not like in my head and I'm not getting frustrated with not throwing skills. And like it feels fun because I can try new things. I can be like doing challenges and stuff with my friends. Like I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about, like with like add-on or something like that, or like when you try and tumble onto the really high mats and stuff. Like I can do those things now because like I'm confident with it and like I feel like I know I can do it. And like I know it's not dangerous. I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna land it.
Yeah, that's the highest level of confidence, which you know because
Yeah.
you've done the work, right? But we teach that the highest level of confidence is I know, right? Like
Hmm.
I know and you feel it, right? It's not just like
Yes.
I know I can do it, but I'm not. It's like no, I feel like I know it's gonna happen, right?
Hmm.
As a coach, we love those moments on coaching calls where we see it, like we see the fire in your eyes and that shift when you say it. It's like from your gut as opposed to like that like tremble, like oh, like
Yeah.
I should have it,
Hmm.
right? That's very different than like I know I have it. There's no
Yeah.
sign good. It's like, no, I know I
Yeah.
have the lowest level of confidence is what? Remember?
Honestly, for me, I guess would be like I'm crying because like I feel like I
I
just can't do
can't.
it.
I'm
done
going to. Yeah.
I've done like 10 rebounds in a row and I won't throw it. I have somebody trying to spot me. I just feel like I suck. Like I can't do it. I just like I'm awful. I'm a bad athlete. I shouldn't be doing this. I should just
Yeah.
quit. Like all
It's
things like that. Just
right.
like rock bottom.
And that's what it looks like with no confidence, all those things. Now, let me ask you, so which came first, the skills or the confidence? Did you improve your
The
confidence
confidence.
and the confidence, right? So many athletes, they wait. It's almost like they have to earn confidence, right? It's like, well, once I throw the thing, then I'll be confident. It's like, no, no, no. Prioritize the confidence because as you build
Mm-hmm.
more confidence, you're going to get more skills. And like you said, so many athletes are like, I have so far to go, right? And I'm sure you felt that way in the past where it's like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to get all my skills back? I had a full and now I'm working on my back handspring and there's
Yeah.
too far to go. But you're like, no, like you just told me, like it happens quick. Like
Yes.
it's because the confidence is the consistent thing and that you need
Yeah.
for every skill no matter what. So when you get
Mm-hmm.
the confidence, you get all the skills.
Yeah.
I
It's just
love that.
like it clicks. Like I don't know how to describe it. Just like everything changes. Like my whole perspective kind of changed on like I'm still nervous going into skills, but like before at least when I was starting my tuck, if you would have even like not even just like a layout or anything, just like the tuck, the thing I've been doing for so many years that like should be really easy for me. Nope. It felt impossible. Like I was gonna land on my neck, I was gonna die, like something tragic was gonna happen. It just wasn't gonna work out. Just like so many like all negative things. And now I feel like there's a couple negative things like, okay, well, like what if I do get injured or like this is scary. But I feel like that's more okay when you also have the positives added in. Like, okay, but it's gonna be really fun if I do this skill, and I'm gonna feel really proud of myself if I do it. Like things like that, just like little
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So mental blocks, they talk to you, right? And the mental
Yes.
blocks say you can't do it, or it says you're afraid. So that means something bad's going to happen, right? That's
Hmm.
the fear. That's the block talking, like all of these things. But the reality is your brain is created so uniquely where like we have fear for a reason. Fear exists to keep us safe. Like fear is a
Yeah.
good thing. And so when you
Hmm.
know that and you start to feel afraid, you don't interpret it like it's not the mental block talking anymore. It's the strong mindset that you have where it's like, okay, I feel afraid but I know what to do. I know how to channel this fear. I know how to reset and regroup and refocus on the things that matter. And now I can just use this opportunity to build more confidence. This is an
Yeah.
opportunity for me to build confidence as opposed to this is a sign. This fear is a sign that something bad's going to happen, right? Like
Hmm.
you can shift your mindset, which is so
Yeah.
cool. And you have mastered that skill, which I absolutely love seeing and hearing all the amazing things. So, Miss Jade, what would you say to an athlete who is currently in a position that you used to be in? Like, what would you say to them?
Don't give up.
Yeah,
Because like I was extremely close to giving up many times, but like now looking back, I'm like, why? Why would I give up? Like I'm so happy now. Like everything is just like fun. Like there's no stress involved with it. It's just like, oh yeah, let me go tumble. Let me just go like flip around, not like, oh God, I have to go tumble.
yeah,
So just don't give up.
yeah,
Because I was really close to doing that and I'm really glad I didn't.
yeah.
It would have not been fun if I gave up.
Yeah. And I just want to take a pause. And if there's any parents watching this, I want to have some serious kudos to your mom for being willing to help you research and figure out, like, think outside the box and find a solution and not just giving in to all of the pressure and the traditional ways of doing things.
Hmm.
Because as a parent, I get the question all the time, like, how can I support my athlete or how can I support my child going through a mental block? And it's seeing, like, helping them catch ways of thinking that are either feeding into the block or helping the block, right? Like
Yeah.
even you just said, like you said the word should so many times. Like when you were talking about that fear place, it's like,
I'm still working on
no, no, no,
it.
you did it in such a perfect, beautiful way because you were talking about the fear, like when you were at rock bottom and when you were
Yeah.
struggling with confidence, the word should came out of your mouth so many times.
Yes.
And it goes into that, right? As a parent, hearing your child say words like should, that's a judgment word. That's a sign that there's some negative, unhelpful patterns of thinking going on,
Hmm.
right? The term have to, I have to have it. I have
Yeah.
to, right? I should get it. All of that. Like as a parent, being able to see those different patterns and recognize like this is not helpful, right? There's a better way. There's something else. Like there's a shift that can be done. And for your mom to help you kind of figure out what that solution is and what that looks like super kudos there, mom. So
Hmm.
I love how well she supports you working. That's awesome. All right, so we've got a few minutes left, and I would love to hear just final takeaways. So, out of everything else, like if someone watched this and they're like, you want them to walk away with one thing. Like, what is one mental game skill or one tip? Like, what has been the biggest game changer for you?
Probably like the cues, the performance cues,
Yeah.
like, or visualizing the skill in my head. I don't know. It's one of the two. Like the imaging,
Yeah.
that really helps. Like, I mean, I don't know. I do it so subconsciously now. Like every time before I go for a skill, like I do the skill in my head and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Or like something I also do a lot. It's not really subconsciously anymore. I still do it like because it's more of like a physical thing I do, but like I kind of like mark it with my hands, I guess. It's like I'm doing it, but like I'm not doing it. I use it as like my performance cues. Like I think some of them I came up with Mo was like fast snap set hips stick or something like that. So it was like fast round off, snap in my back handspring, then set for my tuck, use my hips, stick the landing. And it just like I would kind of do that. Well, I mean I still do. But like doing those things, they help a lot. Like I don't know why, but they just like do.
They do, right? Because you're so often, like you even said, the what ifs, like what if I fall or what if, like you have
Yeah.
those thoughts still. Everybody has those thoughts, but most
Mm-hmm.
people like give into those thoughts. And like, again, it's a sign that something bad's going to happen. It's like you can actually like shift your brain. You can make your brain think about something other than it's thinking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can replace it with like good stuff. Well, what if I go for it? What if I land? What if I do it and it feels amazing? What if I could be confident in tumbling? Like giving yourself those little shifts, and visualization helps you do that. You can literally see it. Like you can see something good happen as opposed to like seeing something bad. Because we see bad stuff happen, right? That's our body's
Mm-hmm.
natural
Yeah.
way of keeping us safe. But we can choose to see good stuff. And that's what you're doing by visualizing is you're intentionally seeing the thing you want to happen as opposed to giving into the thing you don't want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The cues, it's telling your body what to do. It's
Mm-hmm. I do
helpful.
like
It doesn't put
cues.
pressure on you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're magic. I love cues. That's so awesome. Well, good. Well, Jade, thank you so much for sharing your story. You did such an amazing job today, and I'm so proud of you. And again, we can teach all the things, but it doesn't matter unless you actually take what we're teaching it and you put it like we want you putting the things into practice way more often than us just sitting here talking about it, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
magic happens when you go and apply this stuff, and nobody can do that for you. You're the one that's making that happen. So I'm so proud of you for doing the work, staying committed, doing all the worksheet, doing all the pieces of the program, and just letting it work for you and staying committed and excited about your sport. We need more athletes in the gym who are passionate, excited, and can help others do the same thing. So thank
Yeah.
you for being an awesome role model to us today.
Of course. Thank you.
Hey, Jade. Well, I'll see you soon, okay?
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.